Hello everyone, and welcome to Mr. Mo Dynasty. It's episode 3 for the Mesa State Monsters, and this week we're going to go ahead and run through week 0 of season 1. Now we have a bye week this week, so we won't be playing any games, but we will be going over some things. For example, our captain selection. The naming of captains. For the offense and the defense, each side will have a chance to name a captain. Each player will be given the captain badge and will earn a 5-point bump in awareness. I think that's something that they do the visual of the captain's badge. It would be neat though to get a little boost to somebody, and that's what I do at mine. So on offense, I'm naming our best our best offensive lineman. He's a left tackle, Graham Johnson Ryson, GJR. He's our offensive captain, and he received a 5-point boost in awareness and the captain's badge on offense. On defense, the big 5'5", 400-pound D. Barry is the captain for the defense. He gets the captain's badge and is also awarded a 5-point bump in awareness, which is good because his awareness is trash. All right, the way that I will be doing this dynasty is I have different things that happen during the course of the week leading up to the game. And it starts with, on Sundays, we talk about what happened in the previous game, and it affects my approval ratings with a group of people. So it might affect the athletic director, it might affect the boosters, it might affect the fans, or the media, or the players, or the staff. And you can see those numbers are repeated. But then sometimes it affects both the athletic director and the boosters, or the athletic director and the fans, or the fans and the staff. Or, in this case, when I rolled a 28, all. So this shows the group that it impacts, and then this shows how much of my approval rating would drop or increase based on what happened. Obviously, if we're playing a rival team, it's big boost or big loss. If you're playing a conference team, it's lesser, but still better than non-conference. Now, we're a non-conference school right now, so for every category this year, we'll be doing the non-conference. I believe we're not playing any rivals, if I remember right. But anyway, for a non-conference opponent, it's a D18 for an away win. It's a D12 for a home win. It's a D12 loss for a away loss, and a D18 for a home loss. You don't want to lose at home, and you get bonus points if you win away. So this is not a week where we have a game, so I just wanted to show this as an example of what I'll be doing next week. I'll be re-rolling again. Then what we'll do is on Mondays, we will also look at the impact of winning or losing the previous game on its impact or effect on other stats. It'll affect our job security rating, our notoriety rating, and our team chemistry. So winning or losing in my football world that I'm doing, and I wish they would add this, it's going to impact my job security rating, which at the end of the season, if it's at 0, then you get fired. It affects our notoriety rating. So if you win, then you're gaining points on moving to different conference. And if you lose, then you're hurting your chances of moving to a different conference. And then our team chemistry. Obviously, if you win, it helps team chemistry. If you lose, it hurts team chemistry. So I think that would be cool to see in Madden / college football as well. Now, we don't have a game this week, but I just want to show if we did, this would have had the impact. Then the next day, we decide for the upcoming game, the game that's coming up, how much time is going to be played in that game. How many quarters? I don't play a set 10-minute quarter game. Now you will notice that 9 and 10-minute quarters are the most common rolls that you can get, but I can have a game a couple times. I can have a game as short as 5-minute quarters, and then I can have a game as long as 15-minute quarters with a 20-second rundown and anywhere in between. So a lot of our games will be in that 9 to 10-minute range, but there will be games where it'll be different. I do that to keep the games fresh and not always feel like it's the same 10-minute quarter game, so it sort of finds a certain rhythm that maybe can become monotonous. I mean, if you have a 5-minute quarter game, you're going to have a lower scoring game than if you have a 15-minute, 20-second clock rundown. That's going to have a chance to score a lot of points. So it's all over the place. That's randomly rolled. This week, if we would have played a game, it would have been a 9-minute quarter game because I rolled a 21. But no game this week. Moving on to the next thing, I have what's called a practice random event. And this can have a lot of different things that happen in practice. It can be based on player ratings, it can be based on our athletic facilities, or it can be based on any of our coordinators or our coaches. So what happens at that point is I randomly roll to see what person or thing is being impacted at practice, and then I roll a random event to see what the impact was. For this week, and even though there's no game, we do have practice. So it is going to impact our tight ends coach. So in the random events of my tight end coach, I rolled a 100-sided die, and this is what I got. It says your tight end coach is giving consistent improvement, and he's going to be helping the tight ends make small improvements. Select the tight end, roll against your tight end coach's rating. Well, if I succeeded in this roll, then it would have been a success to, it would have impacted by selecting a stat for Dantes Delgado. If it was a failure, it would be a random stat. Well, I went ahead and gave it to impact blocking for Dantes Delgado. Had it been a failure, then it would have been a random stat. So Dantes Delgado got a 1-point boost in impact blocking because he needed that. Because I rolled his rating was a 35 and I rolled a 2, so that's why it was a success. So a little bit of boost there for our tight end Dantes Delgado. The next thing we'll do on Thursdays is we'll see what's called a personnel stats-based rating adjustment. So in this case, what I'm looking for is how are we doing statistically, and how will that make one of our personnel go up or down in their rating. I rolled defensive coordinator this week. And so then basically what you're looking at is statistical quantifiers, like how are we doing compared to everybody else. For this week, I would have gotten a plus D10 or a minus D10 if we were in the top 50 or bottom 50 of total rush yards allowed. So this would have impacted our defense or offense. Now, we didn't play any this week, so I'm not counting that for this week because we haven't played. So it would not be fair. It'd be cheesy if I was given the benefit of it, even though we haven't given up any yards. But it'd also be a penalty for our offense if it said top 50 of points scored and we hadn't played a game. So just know next week when I have played a game, eventually these will start to matter. And our stats will actually have an impact on our coaches, which I think would be cool, once again, in Madden or college football, to see on-field performance impact off-field personnel. And then finally on Fridays, there are random events, and I love these. This is where the biggest spice in the game comes from. I have things called cause and effect events. So basically, a lot of times in those random events, there's a decision point to make where you could do either A or B, and then consequences will happen. There are coach approval ratings, where basically, based on our approval with one of those groups, it'll impact our team. Coaching tendencies. Earlier on, we showed you the coaching philosophy things, whether I like heavy offense, defense, or whether I'm a cheerleader or stoic. In those events, things will happen based on what my responses to those questions were. Recruiting events, those are important because those give me an opportunity maybe to recruit someone that's not just a one-star player. So I'm hoping for recruiting events, especially earlier in the season when you want to jump on one of those players and get early on in the year. So unfortunately, I didn't roll a recruiting event this week. A reputation event, your team's reputation will have an impact. So if you're being a naughty program, if you're cheating or things like that, that will catch up to you. A simulation event, that's one where I might not even play the whole game that week. I might sim 3 quarters or 2 quarters. So that'll impact partial to full simulation events for that game of the week. And this week I rolled staff skill tree growth event, which I'll get to in a moment. And then there's team chemistry event, which can affect our team based on the team chemistry that we currently have. So these are random things that can happen from week to week. Once again, I wish Madden and college football had these things. I infuse them into the game to make it more interesting and to make the game seem more alive and as immersive as possible. So let's talk about the staff skill tree growth event. That's what I got this week. So what happens for this one is you roll a D30 to see which player was impacted, which one of our starters basically, and then based on the staff's rating, you get to see did they go up because of good coaching or did they go down because of bad coaching. Well, this week I rolled quarterback, so it's going to affect my star quarterback. So we go to the quarterback link, and in this case it says for quarterbacks, you've got one of these attributes that it will impact, and then the stat increase, I roll to see will it go up a point or down a point, up 2 points, down 2 points, etc., etc. Well, unfortunately for my quarterback coach, I failed the number. I can't remember offhand. Yeah, I rolled a 57, and his rating is a 50. So unfortunately, I got bad coaching. So in this case, because of bad coaching, I lost a D3, and when I rolled, I got a 3. So I lost 3 throw under pressure. So I went into his rating and dropped him 3 under pressure. Unfortunate, but that's part of having a coaching staff that's either good or bad. And then we go to getting close to the game day. It's Saturday. Game planning for that day. What I do in my games as well is, because I'm an online franchise, I can do this. You can set how many times a play is called. This is to keep you from cheesing. This is really for more online play where you don't want your friends calling the same play 50 times. Well, you can set it if you have an online account. You can set it to limit the number of plays that you can call in a game, how many times. And so what I've got here is a ruling where, so most commonly I'm going to be able to call 3 calls a game. This one I rolled and I got 4 calls. So in theory, if I wanted to run halfback dive, I could run one once per quarter, or 4 1/4 if you want, but then it locks it out. I think this makes you diversify your play calling, but it also then has impacts on your coordinators. For example, if you're able to call unlimited numbers of times the play, then you better win the game, because if you lose, it's going to have a negative impact on your offensive coordinator. On the flip side, if you can only call a play 1 time in the entire game and you win, it's going to have a major boost for your coordinators. So in Madden, you can actually have the offense do 1 and the defense do a different number, but in college, for some reason, they don't do that. So whatever I roll that week, it's going to affect both the offense and defensive coordinators. Of course, this week I don't get it, but if I did this week, it would have been 4 play calls. And so at this point, what we're going to do is now we're going to look at the team. I want to introduce you to the Mesa State Monsters. Let's take a look now at the Mesa State Monsters. That quarterback, he's a 49 overall, Jaquarius Sampson, dual threat. He does get the starting spot, even though he is 1 point lower than Bo Henderson. The reason I'm putting him at the number 1 spot is he does have the 66 speed, and he does have the 64 throw power. So those 2 raw attributes are going to be why he gets the edge, even though backup Bo Henderson is probably going to see some action because he does have better accuracies. He has 9 better short, and we'll probably throw the ball short a lot. But that's why he is the backup. He's only got that going for him. And then Rick Conrad will be our 3rd string quarterback at a 47 overall. Moving on to our halfbacks, we got Zeke Devers. He is our number 1 running back with wearing number 1. He's got the blazing 67 speed, and so he's going to get the start. Now, what about Cyrus Underwood? Cyrus has 85 speed. The problem with Cyrus, though, is he is clueless. He's only got 1 awareness and 10 carrying, so he doesn't know what he's going to do when he has the ball, and he also will fumble it. So that's why that 85 speed has to be set back for Zeke Devers and his 67 blazing speed. Backing him up will be Benny Orlando. And what can you say about Benny? Yeah, he's got 40 awareness. And then we've got Aiden Smith III as the 3rd backup. For fullback, we've got Tank Sherman at a 49 overall. Now, Tank does have 80 strength, which is a benefit, but he is very clueless, and you don't want to give him the ball. He's definitely a blocking fullback. At receiver, wow, are we deep. We've got number 1 receiver, Denarius Griggs IV, the speedster with 75 speed. Unfortunately, his strength is very low, but he is our number 1 receiver. At number 2 receiver is Bobo Jenkins, the speedster. He's got 90 speed and 90 change of direction, but he is very clueless, not great hands, can't catch in traffic, not great spec catch. He can run a short route pretty well, and medium route, and deep route is his thing. So he's going to basically be go down the field, Bobo, use that speed of yours. In the slot will be Quincy Gregory. He's got the best strength for the top 3. He is a true sophomore as well. And then the number 4 receiver that might get in sometimes is the awesome Red Slick Skin at number 18. He is 55 overall, and so he will probably get some looks as the number 4 receiver. At tight end, we've got Dantes Delgado, our vertical threat with his 63 speed, but unfortunately 37 strength, 45 awareness. He can catch though, 82 catch. So he will be leading us as a true sophomore.
And then the other tight end will be Kyle Ripken, 54 overall. He does have the best speed of the duo, just lacks some other things. He does have good awareness, though. Our starting line is 63 overall Georgie Miller. He's not very aware, but he does have other things going for him. At our left guard, we're going to be starting with Johnny Ward. Johnny is something. He is 6'7", 349 pounds of pure fat because he is 18 speed, 5 acceleration, 5 agility. He does have the 80 strength. He's got 90 pass block power, 90 run block power. The problem with him is an 80 impact blocking. He's just so slow. So we want to hit people up the middle, but don't ask Johnny to pull because he'll never get there. At center, we've got Ray Sherman. Not related. He always likes to make that clear. He's not related to Tank Sherman at all. But he is 55 overall. He's got 58 awareness, and he is got 60 strength. And unfortunately, we can't play Javon Williamson because of his 10 awareness. He's very strong at 85 strength, but with 10 awareness, does he even know what he's doing out there? At right guard, we're going to be starting Sebastian Collins, and he has 73 strength. That's what he has going for him. And then at right tackle, we've got Graham Johnson Ryson. He is our star player when it comes to offense, and he's got 78 awareness, 80 pass block power. Those are some of his features. All right, let's move on to the defensive side of the ball. Both these teams, by the way, are 27 on offense and defense rated. So our best player in the game is D. Barry. He has a frame of 5'5", 400 pounds. He is huge, and his speed is 2, but his strength is 95, but he is clueless. We're just asking him to clog the outside lanes and make sure people can't run in his area. He's got 84 tackle, 91 hit power. He does have a lot of good things going for him, but that 2 speed is hampering his development. At 5'5", 400 pounds, he is a bowling ball, D. Barry. At the right edge, we've got Marshall Hughes III. He's got 80 speed, so he can definitely be a speed rusher for sure. His problem, of course, is his awareness. At 38 awareness, you just tell him, hey, don't worry about the play, just run in there and try to get the quarterback. At defensive tackle, we've got Red McPhee at 6'4", 335 pounds. He's a body. And then if we play the 4-3, we've got Max Morgan, 6'5", 395 pounds. Another slow guy who is completely clueless with 4 awareness. So he's just clog the lane. That's your job, Max Morgan, at your big frame. At Sam linebacker, we have the true freshman Xavier Moss with 82 speed. So he's bringing a lot of speed at that linebacker position. Unfortunately, his awareness is only 24 as a true freshman, but he is a 79 tackler. At the Mike linebacker, we also have another true freshman, and he is our star player, Levante Jacobs. 85 speed is what he's bringing to the table. So a lot of good things there. Some of his negatives, though, as we look, he can't catch the ball very well as a linebacker, which is fine. But if you look at his numbers, really not too bad. Now, his block shedding is going to be an issue, and his play recognition is an issue, and his awareness will be a little bit of an issue. But his 85 speed and 77 change direction, I think he will be one of our better players, and that is why he's a star player for us. If we do play a 3-4, which I don't know that we will, we've got Dwight Underwood. At the will linebacker spot, we've got the senior Juice Robinson. He has 82 speed, so I like that. At the corners, it is something. We've got Brazius Carter. He is a true freshman with 78 speed and 62 awareness. The problem with him is man coverage. He's only got 56 man coverage. He's better at zone. And then Ed Bailey's on the other side. He's got 71 speed, so he's probably going to get toasted if they send him on a fly pattern of man coverage. But he is better at man coverage, 69. He's also very good at play recognition. He can see the play. He just can't keep up with it with his lack of speed at the corner position. And then our slot corner is Myron Jarvis. He's got 80 speed, so our fastest. He's got 90 change of direction and 92 acceleration, so that's really good. Problem for Myron Jarvis with that 27 awareness, does he even know what he's doing out on the field? So you can see we got a lot of these people that couldn't play for other teams for a couple of reasons, or glaring reasons. We've got Valerius Jones III, one of my favorite players. Valerius Jones, got 94 acceleration. Unfortunately for him, that 24 awareness is really keeping him down. But he does have play recognition 82, so he's got football sense in that way. He can recognize the play. He's got 81 man coverage and 79 zone coverage, so his coverages are great. But will his lack of awareness keep him down? At free safety, we've got Jaquan Odoms, the true sophomore. He's got 72 speed, but problem for him is the 26 awareness. But just his raw skills in a lot of areas are pretty good. The 83 man coverage, the 77 zone coverage. That's why Jaquan is going to get the start. However, Harmon Howard Watson is a 95 speed true freshman. So he's got the speed. Problem is he can't tackle anyone. He's going to get manhandled with that 10 strength. And then his coverages are bad. 42 man, 57 zone. So can his raw speed be enough for us at that position? It might be a battle between these two. And maybe Howard Watson comes in on certain packages. As strong safety, we've got Tyrone James. He is not very fast for a strong safety at 66. He does have decent strength. Once again, his awareness is very low, but not as low as our backup and our third string. Those gentlemen all have terrible awarenesses at the strong safety position, and that's what's keeping them out of the starting lineup. Our kicker is Trey Austin, 46 overall. He's got 65 kick power and 56 kick accuracy. Our punter is Henderson Wellington III. He's got 58 kick power and 41 kick accuracy. So our special teams is truly a mess. And so that gives you a look at our offense and defense of your and my Mesa State Monsters.
That's all for this episode. If you haven't already, please subscribe and smash that like button and tell a friend. Next week, the Mesa State Monsters are going to be finally getting on the gridiron and showing the world what we can do. Thanks again and have a great day.